All right, and we are just having the last few people leaving the waiting room and joining our main room. So, thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon for the afternoon session. Uh, to start, we are going to thank our sponsors once again. And so, thanking our conference sponsors, Pain BC, the Strategy for Patient Oriented Research Chronic Pain Network, the Canadian Institutes of Health Research Institute of Musculoskeletal Health and Arthritis, the Partnership for the Engagement of People in Pain Research, or the PEPPER Project, and Health Canada. Many of our presenters will share stories and perspectives shaped by their individual lived experiences. The views expressed do not necessarily represent the views of Pain Canada or our sponsors. Remember that these sessions are being recorded and will be available after the conference on Pain Canada's YouTube channel. So, welcome to the final session for today, Pain Hacks, your practical toolkit. Please be reminded that a portion of today's session that are in the main room will be recorded. You will have French interpretation and closed captions available for you. So welcome, Delane and Alex. I'll hand it off to you.
Thanks so much, Desmond.
Echoing that, thanks, Desmond. And it is great to see so many folks joining here today. I think this is going to be the largest workshop that I've ever facilitated. I don't know about you, Delane, but this is going to be an interesting challenge, and it's also so exciting to see so many folks interested interested in engaging with this topic. So just to give you a little bit of a summary about what this workshop is about and how we're going to be running it. We're going to be discussing the life hacks that you use to help make living with chronic pain and fatigue easier. So as people with chronic pain, we're told a lot about how important self-management is to keep our quality of life. And when we hear about self-management, it often focuses on things like changing our diet and exercise routines, doing pacing, managing stress and other emotions. But these things are all really hard to do if your environment isn't accessible for you. That is to say, if your environment isn't set up to support you to be able to move and rest and do all kinds of other day-to-day things safely and comfortably. And it's actually really hard to find information about how to make your environment accessible. A lot of us find things by chance when someone else with chronic pain mentions something that works well for them. I don't know, for me personally, it's taken years and years to find a lot of the solutions that work well for me. Sometimes it could be that we come across a helpful post on social media, or we become designers ourselves. And I don't necessarily mean professional designers, although some of us certainly are that too. But what I mean is that we invent our own solutions to problems, either by making tools from scratch or adapting other everyday items to use them in new ways. But both finding out about things by chance takes a lot of time, as I mentioned, and often a little bit of luck. Sometimes it takes the algorithm gods being nice to us on that day. And in the same way, designing your own tools can be really rewarding and really satisfying, but also tiring and overwhelming, especially if you are already dealing with fatigue, if you already have a limited budget, or if you're struggling with lack of support in other areas of your life. So we wanted to try and make it a little bit easier for you to find out about life hacks that might be helpful for you by making the space for people to share their own life hacks and also share about how they found out about them or how they came to invent and make them for themselves. So just a note that we will not be using the Q&A in this session, and I'm going to hand it over to Delane to talk to you a little bit more about the logistics of how this is going to run.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. Before we get into logistics, I also just wanted to quickly introduce myself, and then I'll give Alex a chance to introduce themselves as well. So hi, everyone. My name is Delane Linkwich. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm joining from Guelph, Ontario today, which is located on the unceded stolen land and traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, the Ottawandaron, and the Haudenosaunee people on the treaty lands and territories of the Mississauga of the Credit. I'm really grateful that we get to kind of be here in this virtual space today and get to share knowledge with each other and engage in conversations. I've been living with chronic pain for over 15 years and have lived experiences both an adolescent as well as a young adult who lives with chronic pain. I'm also a daughter, a sister, and a friend to those with chronic pain, and I'm just really looking forward to doing this session today. As Alex mentioned, we have lots of people joining, so I'm really excited to get to hear from folks. And I'm going to pass it along to Alex quickly just to introduce themselves, and then I'll get kind of into the logistics.
Yes, thank you for that. I got so excited that I completely forgot to do that right at the start. So hi everyone, I'm Alex. My pronouns are they, them. I am joining from so-called Kingston, Ontario, which is the stolen land of the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Huron-Wendat people. What do I have to say about myself? Yeah, I've been living with chronic pain since I was a young child. But my primary pain condition wasn't actually diagnosed until I was age 30, which meant that it means that I've spent most of my life trying to work out how to get by with chronic pain on my own, and that's involved figuring out a lot of life hacks. And I do think that played a strong role in my interest in becoming a designer. So in my day-to-day life, I am a service designer and UX researcher. So it's not really a designer of products, but rather I look at how designing how people work usually with digital tools, but also designing the systems and processes around them. Um, but a lot of the same kinds of thinking sort of go into that and designing physical objects. I would say I have a lot of ideas for my own life hacks that I have not had the time or energy yet to fabricate. I've kind of gone the route of trying to find a job in tech that pays me enough that I can buy the things that I need. But at the same time, yeah, I do like to think that as people with chronic pain, we have sort of a unique perspective on and engage uniquely in a lot of design. So I'm really excited to get into those conversations with you and also talk about some of the things that maybe we do wish existed, that don't yet because we've lacked the time or capacity or money or what have you to make them, and thinking about how we could make those come to be. So yeah, I will stop rambling and I'll throw it back to Delane.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, so in terms of how we're planning to do this today, we are planning to split up into or planning to split up the session into two halves. So you'll have the chance to join two breakout rooms each. So during each half, what we're going to do is we're going to run two breakout rooms. So you'll have a chance to kind of decide which breakout room you want to go into for each half. So we'll kind of have a part one and a part two. So the breakout room themes will be different in each half. And we've created a poll so you can vote for which topic you would like to participate in so we know which room to add you to, okay? So you can participate in a breakout room either by sharing your own ideas or listening to what other people are saying. So I think we're going to launch the poll now. So I'm going to kind of explain these a little bit more. So the first two themes are DIY life hacks. So that is things you've kind of invented or made yourself from scratch. And then the other one is pre-purchase items that you've used as intended. So to kind of give you an example of a DIY hack, something that Alex shared with me is that they have neuropathic pain in their hands that's triggered by cold. So they found it really uncomfortable to hold their cane in the winter, even though that's when they needed it the most for balance. So what they did was they made a little felted cover for the handle of their cane that kind of made it warmer and more cushioned. And an example of a pre-purchased item used as intended might be those good old like reacher grabbers, those kind of long tools with the grabby claws at the end that you can use to clean up your home or grab something without having to bend down. And so we'll give you a couple more minutes to vote for your first breakout room. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the breakout room for about 20 minutes. And then what Alex and I are going to do is we're going to kind of hear from people. We're going to organize a Miro board. So don't worry, you're not going to have to do any of the tech stuff. We're going to take that on. And so that's how we can kind of gather all of your ideas. And then what we're going to do, and we'll tell you a little bit more about this once we get into the breakout room, but don't fret if you want to learn about other things in another breakout room, because we're hoping to kind of summarize all of the information that we learn here today and send it back out to folks. We haven't quite decided where that's going to be yet, but don't worry, we will make sure that the information is accessible to everyone. Okay, so we're just going to give you a couple more seconds, and then what we're going to do is end the poll. So make sure you vote, please. So the first two options again are DIY or pre-purchase items used as intended. Okay, so now that it's 3:40, what we're going to do is we're going to go into those breakout rooms and we'll come back here at 4 p.m. Okay, and then what we're going to do is Alex and I are going to summarize kind of what we've learned, and then we'll discuss that. We'll just kind of summarize that as a group, and then we'll go into the second breakout room. All right, we're just waiting for folks to come back. Just give folks a couple more minutes to come back.
Elaine, there's about 20 folks that were joined afterwards, just so you know, they haven't got context.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for the praise in the chat. I was just a typer. You're all amazing for sharing, and this is like one of my favorite things about this conference is like sharing all of these ideas with each other. Alex, I don't know about your breakout room, but I am just feeling so excited. I could like almost cry. There's so many amazing strategies and hacks that have been shared, and we're only halfway done.
Yeah, really incredibly grateful to everyone for sharing their experience and their knowledge. It's awesome.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just start with doing a quick summary. I was just mentioning to folks in the breakout room that I was in that we're going to try and figure out a place to make this, to have this as like a home for these awesome hacks. And we're going to make sure that everybody knows where to find that at least at some point in the conference. We'll hopefully mention it multiple times. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. I know it's not going to be perfect because you're not going to be able to see everything, but in terms of things that people have tried that they've pre-purchased and they've used as intended, we got lots of things here. So many things that we were like writing off of outside of the box. Lots of like heat and ice options for packs and wraps and balms and ointments and things like that. Also, things like pillows or like lumbar like wedges or foam rollers, tennis balls, things like that. Also, kind of some more practical things like grocery delivery and pickup, which is being offered at more and more stores. Lots of helpful things for like more like electronics, so like TENS machines, virtual reality meditation, um, remote light switches or light dimmers. Um, Lots of really cool things, lots of heated things like chairs, um, like socks, even like some massagers are heated too. So like lots of things for heat and pain. Just to make sure that we get enough time, I'm going to stop there. But again, don't worry, we're going to make sure that you have access to this. Alex, what did you learn?
Yeah, sorry, let me find my screen again to share. I distracted myself trying to do a little bit of thematic analysis. Um, Easy to do. And now I am sorry, it's not giving me the option to do presentation mode again. So I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to put up with my address bar at the top, but I'm gonna zoom in here. So we did have some interesting sort of themes emerging. We had a couple of folks who talked about their hacks for loading wheelchairs into the back of vans because those are you know, they're heavy even if you use a manual chair. If you deal with chronic pain, having to lift a chair can be a real challenge. So we had some folks who either constructed their own or adapted a folding ramp for dogs, which I love that idea, especially as someone who has an arthritic dog who also increasingly I've been thinking I should get a ramp for her to save my back lifting her in. So doing double duty there. We had a number of sort of hacks around sort of adapting existing or common physio tools to make them less expensive. So putting 2 tennis balls in a sock to massage the back, using stretchy elastic tubing from medical supply stores in lieu of compression gloves. And also some really interesting uses of pool noodles. In one case, to provide sort of insulation and padding for handles on a walker, and in another case as an alternative to foam rollers, again, a little bit less expensive and providing a little bit better balance between the firmness and sponginess to balance pain there. And then one that I loved, because yeah, I've been using this a lot myself lately, really hot showers, as hot as you can handle. Because that sort of gate control theory of pain, if anyone's familiar with that, giving your brain something else to focus on in terms of sensory signals can help distract. Saying distract sort of minimizes it. It really actually does turn the pain off, at least while you're doing it, because it gives your brain sort of something else to process in terms of sensory input. So that's something I found really helpful too with heating pads is my go-to. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to just orient us to the next breakout room. So next on our list is, so again, we're going to have 2 breakout rooms. And what we're going to do is, next one is pre-purchase items that you've creatively adapted. So for new uses, and then I wish this existed. So like hacks that don't exist yet, but you wish you did. So examples. So an example of a pre-purchase item that I've creatively adapted for new uses. Way before like standing desks were more accessible, I purchased like a hospital over the bed table and used that as a standing desk. And it was also nice because it tilted for when I did want to sit or, that kind of thing. And then an example of something I wish existed, like for me, it really, like even after 30 seconds, like having my hands up to either like braid my hair or curl my hair or blow dry my hair, it's really difficult and it hurts. So I wish something existed that could kind of help for that. So again, we're going to give you a couple more minutes to vote for which breakout room you'd like to do. And I'll just be quiet now so you can focus on voting. Okay, I'm seeing numbers slow. Okay, couple more seconds here.
And maybe I can just mention also that if you don't vote, we'll just leave you here in the main meeting room, and then you can hear the results when the teams come back. So I think, are you good for me to close it, Delene?
Yep, let's do it.
Yep. And like we did before, I'm just going to move everybody into the breakout rooms, and then I'll make sure that I've got Alex and Delene in the right rooms. And we'll have a total of 20 minutes. So we'll see you back here.
Thanks everyone for being so like amazing. I'm kind of shocked and like speechless. This has been amazing. Hello, Alex. Okay, we have 1 minute. I'm just gonna quickly, maybe, you know what? I'll just quickly do a really quick one. Everybody really liked hair dryer for like pain and like putting the heat from the hair dryer on different parts of your body for pain. Lots of different like essential oils and ointments for helping with nausea and pain and migraines and things like that. I'll let you go and then we can kind of wrap up on time.
Yeah, I would say there were sort of like there were so many good ideas that I sort of gave up on really thematically grouping everything. But I would say there were 3 big themes that came out that I was able to notice. And I think the most important one is just more universal accessibility, more accessibility built into the way things are done and designed. And then also more cushions, more easily portable cushions, and more opportunities for seating. Hard edges. No one likes hard edges, and there are hard edges on everything. So I think those were the three that stood out, but there were so many incredible ideas. So if I didn't share, I just want to, if I didn't mention your idea, I just want to say thank you to everyone who shared because they were great.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I echo that. There are so many ideas that I'm gonna like go back and just read over all of them and summarize them and like I've been saying in my breakout rooms, we are going to summarize this list and have it be made available. And one thing I did want to mention that I mentioned in my breakout room was just make sure that if there are any suggestions about ingesting things, just make sure you check in with medical professionals beforehand, because we are not medical professionals. So just making sure that, it doesn't interact with any medications or anything like that. Just want to keep folks safe. Thank you so much. This was honestly, I've been doing PTPT for what, like 4 years now, and this is my favorite session I've ever done. It's just been so amazing. There's so much knowledge that we all have, and it's just so amazing to share it. So thank you, everyone. Really, really grateful.
Thank you, Delane. Thank you, Alex. And thank you to everybody who contributed today. This really is, I think, one of the first times that we have been able to facilitate a space for people to really share their voices in a way that is contributing instead of just, asking panelists or like having a question asked. And I think that's a really beautiful thing that we just created there to, allow people to really have their voices heard, even if it's just with a suggestion of something that they want to offer to others. So thank you so much, Delane and Alex, for hosting that amazing session. And yeah, thank you to all of our presenters and facilitators today, and to everyone who participated in this and the other sessions. We hope that everyone will be able to make it back again tomorrow for day 2 of PTPT 2025, which will be starting at 10 a.m. Pacific. And our exhibit area that is available when you click into the lobby is an area for resources, and video replays will be available on YouTube, and you will get a notification through your email if you have registered for this conference. If you're here today, you will get a follow-up when those videos are uploaded to YouTube. And so thank you all so much for joining us today, for your contributions, and we will see you again tomorrow. Take good care.